I feel it's very easy to say it's very male dominated, but I know for a fact at the end of the day that you do need that female presence. You do need those female characters to sort of showcase a different side to the male counterparts. And I feel like it's so easy to have a show where it's just guys, but at the end of the day when that girl comes in, you see a very different side. And I feel to bring that side out, to show the men in a way where it's not just violent, they aren't just like animals, they're also human beings. I think a woman's presence is very important for that.
The desire for power is something that most people can understand, if not really live it. One can understand hunger. For me, when I read the script, a couple of things that really stood out for me is this idea of from nothingness, from absolute hunger. The desire which most men of our country go through of wanting to be the provider and protector of the family. And then from there on to have this greed for power. These were three basic arcs that I saw this character go through.
Hello everyone, welcome to News 18 Showsha, and today we have with us team Bambai Meri Jaan. Hello guys, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, is Bombay really your Jaan?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, amid all the chaos and the hustle that this city is known for, what is the one thing about Bombay that you really miss every time you're not here?
So I feel like I was raised in like real Mumbai, like real Bombay, because like I'm a Sobokin. And I'm very proud of it, as a lot of you know.
Far away.
So for me, yeah, I've been born and brought up here. I've done everything, my schooling, my friends, my college, everything, my work, career, everything has happened in this city. So for me, it is my Jaan.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
No, I mean there's no debate. Yeah, for if I go abroad for like 5 days, I get cold turkey for this place, and the vibe is exceptional.
Yeah.
I mean, I think apart from New York, there's no place in the world with this vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I feel all of us feel the similar emotion. I mean, I was actually born in a hospital in Bandra, so I come that much into the suburbs. Literally, at a hospital in Bandra. I went to a school in Juhu.
Okay.
Right? And I've lived only in this part of town. So even when we decided to start an office, it had to be in Bandra. I refused to go to even cross and go on the other side.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing. I think this city, like he said, I'm not much of a fan or a lover of New York, right? Because I really feel that you've grown up in Mumbai and it's almost the similar. You go there, you still have the honking. You're used to it. You miss the honking, the silence when you're away, because you're just used to it. You know what I mean? In a strange way. So I'm saying that entire feeling, what you've experienced from the time you've been born, and then suddenly you go into, of course, for the first few days you enjoy, okay, out of the hustle, bustle, everything and all, but then you start missing it.
Yeah.
You want to feel that what you've been used to. So it's just, and also I'll tell you, it's another city which actually is the city which does not sleep. It's the truest city which you go out on a weekday, and I've been to a lot of cities in the world. Right? They say that about New York, but I'll tell you, you actually see on a Monday or a Friday, right? Even if it's a weekend, in the night time you will still find people. I know we have the population as well, but I'm saying irrespective, you will find there'll be something or the other happening. You know what I mean? Like you will find like people on the road, you'll find restaurants, you'll find cafes. People are out even on weekdays.
Absolutely.
You go to New York, where even if you're staying in Manhattan on weekdays at 9 o'clock, it's shuts. Weekends is obviously crazy, So I think I miss that. If I'm traveling, I would definitely miss it after some time.
Okay.
I've been brought up in Bombay, and I keep saying it's the center of Bombay that
It's not.
I've been brought up, which is say Dadar, Wadala, Sion.
But it's not.
I've grown up in Antop Hill, where my father was a government servant, so we have government quarters in Antop Hill.
Yes.
And Antop Hill has been part of every crime story that I've heard around, because it was like one place which was booming as far as the underbelly of Mumbai is concerned. The beauty of that place that has stayed with me even now is the fact that it's so accepting. Like I remember my building had one masjid here. There was a gurudwara. There were all South Indian temples around. There's a church. I was surrounded by all of that right in the center of Mumbai.
Yeah.
I don't know any place else in this world which has that kind of acceptance and accommodation.
Secular vibe, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
At the same time, you step out in the night in the city. You want to have chai, you want to have coffee. Cycle wala is there.
Boost
Like I
also.
prefer Boost. I've told you I prefer the Boost, which is fantastic. You want to eat something, you can go to various parts of the city anytime in the day. Everything is available. So when 24 hours, a city that never sleeps, true to its name, Bambai Meri Jaan.
Wow, lovely. Okay, so all of you are born here, right?
I was born
Not all of us.
Okay, okay.
I was born in Bihar.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so...
Perfect one.
No, coming back to Bambai Meri Jaan. Okay, Avinash, you said that when the script had come to you initially, of course you loved it, but you were also a little reluctant, hesitant. That's what I read. Why so?
I wasn't reluctant about the script. I was just scared
Of what?
of the magnanimity of this project. I didn't know if, like the vision when I heard from Shujat, I wasn't sure if I had it in me. Am I ready for this? Also the kind of commitment that it needed. But it really excited me because it was a great opportunity. So the actor was really excited. It was raring to go. But the person that I am, he was a little scared of not knowing how I would be able to pull it off. And all those things. But I was never reluctant about it. This one is, come on, it's like...
Once in a lifetime.
I'm sure this is one opportunity that
Yeah.
every actor that I know of is envious of me.
I'm sure. So, both of you, tell me a little bit about the kind of conversations or let's say the collaborative, experience that you had with S. Hussain Zaidi. Because, when we think of crime journalism, crime reportage, he's the go-to person. What kind of conversations did you really have with him?
I think, yes, you're right. He's done such a large volume of work within crime and crime reportage. So when he came to us with this story, from which it was a launching pad from which we developed it, it sounded fantastic. I mean, like I was saying, Ritesh, Kasim and I sat down. We felt it's a great show to make if we could get it right, because it took a lot of work to get those 10 episodes right. Also, it's great to have some base of reality from where you can launch off with fiction. And though a lot of stuff is in the public domain, Hussain is, the leading expert on that matter. So he always had his wisdom to rely on. But yes, after that, I think the one thing I think we talked about is that, facts also limit you. The reason for fiction is that unlike a film, which is going to get over in 2 hours and you have possibly the material of a biopic or someone's life, when you're doing something like this, 10 episodes and hopefully, God willing, 3 more seasons or 2 more seasons, facts or real people actually limit your ability to keep on plotting further because they are finite lives, right? So I think that's why we took it as a base and then launched off into a fictional world which we can keep creating more milestones, more arcs, more characters from that base.
Right. Do you want to add something?
No, I think, if you're asking, I think it's a great collaboration. Because, see, I'll tell you, whatever we may say, this entire process of what we do is not a single person. It's not the director, it's not the producer, it's not the writer. It's a team of people which come in and do it. And especially if you're, like he said, you're using certain thing to start or leap from, which is the basis of what Mr. Zaidi provided us. And with his experience, with everything he's experienced while he was in his journalistic experiences, and also you're talking of a time where he personally had seen, if you speak to him, he'll tell you about a lot what happened at that point with the birth of the underworld, right? And at the backdrop of when India had got its freedom. So I think all those real bits, when were presented into which he brought into a new thread, was an amazing thing because it makes it feel that it's real. That's why most people think, oh, is it real? Because it is stemming from the fact that it's taken from various parts of what happened in that time. Various people, so there'll be a little bit of something, he must have been inspired from somewhere here, then he's taken a little bit of some another person and put that and infused and made a fictional character. He's created his own character but taken a little bit of various people and put it into one person. right? So it seems relatable because then I'm sitting there and watching and that trait I'll relate to. Rensil will relate to something else in that person. Say, "Yaar, ye sahi kar raha hai." What he's fighting with for his siblings. He's arguing with he's having a conflict with his father.
Right.
The mother's conflict with the husband and with the kids. So there are all those make it real because they're actually inspired from real instances. But it's not one particular person. It's taken from different people. And that's how it is. So it is, and it helped having his experience. Then you're not completely fictionalizing it. You have something to leap from and do it. So you work off that base and then leap from there. So I think I mean, I wish we can collaborate more in such stuff where you get in that true balance,
Right.
And you do it. At least now for season 2, season 3, we know the similar effort and thing will continue with him on that, So it's amazing to have that.
So you've taken a decision to further it, to have
No, to
more
do 2 and
seasons.
3. I mean, hopefully by 15th of September, that's what I said. I want to hope that Amazon says don't do only second season, do the third also.
Even some spin-offs.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Good. No, so please tell me a little bit about your character.
So Pari is basically, I would say, the one person Dara is sort of nervous around, and she brings out this very sweet side of him that you would never see if he stayed in his world. So she's sort of that break for him in a way. And I think it's really beautiful when you have that person who allows you to come out of your comfort zone and actually be yourself in a world that's so dark and grey and full of violence. So I feel with Pari, she's a very sweet blend in this very dark world.
Yeah. But Amyra, tell me, so this underbelly that we're going to, of course, see here, it's largely male dominated, right? In a space like that, what scope is there for a woman? What do you think?
I feel it's very easy to say it's very male dominated, but I know for a fact at the end of the day that you do need that female presence. You do need those female characters to sort of showcase a different side to the male counterparts. And I feel like it's so easy to have a show where it's just guys, but at the end of the day when that girl comes in, you see a very different side. And I feel to bring that side out, to show the men in a way where it's not just violent, they aren't just like animals, they're also human beings. I think a woman's presence is very important for that.
Right. Why are you smiling? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, how did you, Avinash, step into the mind of this character? Because there is no reference point. I'm sure there's no thread, commonality. How?
I think the desire for power is something that most people can understand, if not really live it. One can understand hunger. For me, when I read the script, a couple of things that really stood out for me is this idea of from nothingness, from absolute hunger. The desire which most men of our country go through of wanting to be the provider and protector of the family. And then from there on to have this greed for power. These are 3 basic arcs that I saw this character go through. And once you understood that, I was just sharing a couple of thoughts that really kept going on with me was फर्क सिर्फ इतना है कि तुम्हारे सपने हैं और मेरी भूख है. Now that has been a thought that has actually driven me as an actor too over a period of time. It's pushed me, it's kept me going, and this thought aligned with the character that I was playing. So it became a very internal experience as far as that is concerned. Second thought being आग को पता नहीं होता कि वो जल रहा है या जला रहा है. Which is very, very evident for Dara, not personally for me, but I could understand the fire within. And once I could understand it, I could ignite it and keep it going. So once this thing was set, I think the rest, it was my director. He created a world which was so believable that one had to just step in and feel like, oh, you're there. And it's that world. Everything else became so much easier. And you realize actually every time you finish a project, you do realize that how frivolous or how trivial you are as an individual on a set, because it's so many people coming together, and unfortunately worldwide and more so in our country, all the credit and love goes to the actors, while the credit should be shared by each and every individual on that set who makes that actor come through to the audience. they should be paid well, but the credit should definitely be shared to others.
Absolutely. On a parting note, this question is to the two of you. When you're making a show, let's say, you know, on, for the lack of a better word, a criminal here, somebody who is engaged in so much gore and violence, how do you really draw that line wherein you do not want to really glorify or glamorize them?
So I think you got to be realistic. Okay, what are we making? We're making a gangster show. Now, within a gangster show, in the writing, you have to put what I call a moral lesson, because all gangster shows are cautionary tales. Okay, it has to be seeded in without it becoming preachy, that actions have consequences, and karma is a bitch. It comes back for you.
Yeah.
Actually, if you live by the gun, you will die by the gun. All these things have to be seeded in without it become top of mind. Because then what happens is the audience, you know, doesn't take it. It has to be sugar coated, it has to be slipped in, but it has to be there. So you're writing sometimes a show at this level, and then there's almost the subterranean level where, you know, there's just still water just running. And audiences are smart. I always live by that thing, that even you may consider those people the masses, but they are the same people who are also, you know, they are human beings. They have an intellect. They have they have a sensibility, and they will catch this. Maybe not top of mind. So, but I think it's there in the writing. If you put it into the writing, then you don't have this problem. Glorifying, then you don't have to answer to, you know, do you need to make films about gangsters? I think a lot of this job is not really at the level of execution. It's at the level of writing.
I think he's put it very aptly. Like, you know, I would almost consider it like when you write a character, like you write a superhero, right? You have to make him, you have certain rules and principles. Okay, these are his powers, but it's not that he does not. That's why you have an antagonist also, which makes it. So you'll build certain rules about what are the superpowers I can give him, where is he vulnerable, what is it. So I'm saying similarly it comes in when you're writing, you have to be very clear, and if that comes in from the beginning, that I'm not going to glorify. I'm not going to let people who are impressionable, whether it's the youth, whatever, to start feeling it's cool to be like that. No, you may enjoy this, but in what context, what happens at the end is very important. How does that journey end? Should you even think about going down? So everything has to be in context, right? So there's no way, I don't think any of it, I'm telling you very clear, whether you see this, you'll actually start in a certain way rooting for him. You'll start rooting for Dara. You'll start feeling his pain. You'll start feeling, yeah, okay, fine. He chose a path because he thought that power and fear would be able for me to put food on the table, protect my family, provide for them, or whatever, right? But that was his journey. Now, how do you show in context one? During that journey also, it's not that, okay, only in the last episode in season 3, I'll show what has to happen. You have to show the consequences, like he's saying, built in at various stages. Now, does he give it up and continue down that road? Not that, that's the way you write it. But the idea being, you will never, I can give it to you in writing, you will not watch this show and feel we've glorified this kind of a character. That's not the intention, and that will not even come out, because like he said, it was, the conscious decision was in the writing that I'm telling a gangster story, but I'm going to show you the arc of it completely. I'm just not going to tell you, of course, it's got his highs, he'll feel he's cool and, you know, he's doing the thing, but there will be a consequence to everything, and you'll see it in various stages.
Right.
Because there will be loss, there will be other stuff which will come in, and he'll have to deal with it, you know. And I'm talking of severe losses for the actions he's taken.
Right.
You know, so the consequences are pretty severe, which the character may have not even thought about.
Yeah.
You know, but the writer has thought about it at that point, that okay, I'll bring this in because he knows what it is. But the guy going through it is okay, going with what he feels is still right, and he'll do it. So I think I don't think the intention for us at least is to ever glorify anything like that.
Okay. Well, looking forward to this, really looking forward to this. And thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.